We all know that the coming of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is one of the major signs of the Day of Judgment.
So Ya'juj and Ma'juj, strange wordings. They're actually two words. Ya'juj is one and Ma'juj is another. And when they come out, they're going to come out so quickly and so fast that you will not be able to stand in front of them. You have to run away from them. And they are actual human beings. Ya'juj and Ma'juj are human beings. They are tribes that actually exist on earth. They existed close to the time of Musa alayhi salam, in an era of a great king named Dhul-Qarnayn, the man of the two horns. Dhul-Qarnayn was an extremely powerful king, and he was a worshipper of Allah, a righteous, just Muslim king, among the best that ever existed on earth. And he had so much power, so much authority, that his kingdom reached almost the whole world. Dhul-Qarnayn had power to there, right to the end part of civilization. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Dhul-Qarnayn in Surah Al-Kahf.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Surah Al-Kahf is composed of 4 stories. The first of them is the story of the young men in the cave. Second one is the story of the man with 2 gardens. Third one is the story of Musa alayhi salam and Al-Khidr. And the fourth of them now is the story of Dhul-Qarnayn. The first story dealt with the fitna of persecution for the sake of religion. The second story dealt with the fitna of money. The third story dealt with the fitna of knowledge. And the fourth story deals with the fitna of power.
The general rule that history has told us is that power corrupts. There is nothing that is more destructive to a person's ego than power. Because power gives you fame, power gives you wealth, power gives you fortune, power gives you access to everything else. All of the other fitnas that a man has, when you have power, they are all underneath you. And that is why our Prophet ﷺ said, never seek power, never seek to be in charge of others. Why? Because if you want to be in charge of others, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will let you alone. Whereas if others ask you to be in charge, if others want you to be in charge, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. In the Islamic concept, the Amir does not stand up and say, vote for me, I'm the best candidate. Rather, the real Amir will be like Abu Bakr, who says, Umar is better than me and Abu Ubaidah is better than me. You two choose between Umar and Abu Ubaidah. And Umar says, no, wallahi, you are the best among. There's a fight going on, verbal fight, that who is the better one. This is the real Islamic sense of power. This is what the real Khalifa is. He doesn't want that position. He wants to run away from that position. Umar ibn al-Khattab, he said, how I wish I had never ever had this position. How I wish that I had never been put in charge of the affairs of the believers. And there are so many stories from the earliest generations and from the Islamic leaders that shows the real Islamic khulafa of old, that shows that they used to run away from this. So a person in power who is sincere and pure is the exception and not the rule. The ruler that acts in accordance with the Sharia, that's a rarity. And somebody who has power and he still is just, that is truly something that is worthy of respect, that Allah has obligated upon us. And also it is one of those whom the Prophet ﷺ has said, he will be sheltered under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the ruler who acts justly in accordance with the Sharia. So Allah wants to give us an example of one such ruler.
Now remember, what was the reason why Surah Al-Kahf was revealed? They asked about 3 questions. They asked about the people of the cave. They asked about Dhul-Qarnayn. And they asked about the Ruh. In this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts with the story of the people of the cave and ends with the story of Dhul-Qarnayn. So what is the story of Dhul-Qarnayn?
So they ask you about Dhul-Qarnayn. Say, I will narrate to you, سَأَتْلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنْهُ ذِكْرًا. I will recite to you something about him. Some things, just to tell you that I know who this man is. Now, who is Dhul-Qarnayn? Allah says, إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. Indeed, we gave him power in this earth. مَكَّنَّا, we gave him power. He could have control, meaning he was a type of king. And we gave him a path wherever he wanted to go. Meaning he had an army, he was able to go to any land he wanted to go.
Dhul-Qarnayn, the man of the two horns. He was called that name because he used to wear a hat that had two horns coming out of it. That's one meaning. Another meaning, they think why he was called Dhul-Qarnayn, the man of the two eras or generations, or the king of the generations, because Qarn means horn and it also means in Arabic generations or eras. The point is that Dhul-Qarnayn was an extremely powerful king, and he was a worshipper of Allah, a righteous, just Muslim king, among the best that ever existed on earth. He had so much power, so much authority, that his kingdom reached almost the whole world. Why do I say almost? Because there were parts of the world where civilization hadn't reached yet, as today. Dhul-Qarnayn had power to there, right to the end part of civilization. He used to go around the whole world to see who is being oppressed, who is doing good to reward them, bringing justice between people. He used to physically go out with his army like that, looking everywhere as far as he can. That's what he spent his life in, traveling the world and applying justice and worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everywhere he went. So Allah describes one of his journeys. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَغْرِبَ الشَّمْسِ وَجَدَهَا تَغْرُبُ فِي عَيْنٍ حَمِئَةٍ. When he reached the place of the setting of the sun, he found it setting in a murky pond or in a murky water. What does this mean? The Qur'an here is talking allegorically. He reached a place where it looks like the sun is setting. It looks like that. In other words, Allah is telling us, Dhul-Qarnayn reached a very, very far end of the world. He said he found it setting in a murky pond, meaning it looked like as if it was setting inside the ocean.
When he reached the setting place of the sun, meaning he reached the westernmost lands imaginable. And he found over there a group of people. قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ. We said, O Dhul-Qarnayn. Now, somebody can say, Allah is saying He is speaking to Dhul-Qarnayn. This means Dhul-Qarnayn must be a prophet. And the response is no. The phrasing does not necessarily indicate this. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can speak in different ways. Direct speech, you become a prophet. Indirect speech in Arabic is called ilham. And ilham is given to non-prophets. One example of ilham is the mother of Musa. So this could be ilham. So we said, O Dhul-Qarnayn, you have two options, meaning it came to Dhul-Qarnayn's mind, I have so much power, what can I do with these people? I can either punish them or I can be good to them. And this is what every king, when they conquer a new nation, they have this option. So Allah is demonstrating what is the nature of Dhul-Qarnayn. He had the option of massacring, of killing, of being harsh, and the option of being good. So what did he do? Dhul-Qarnayn said, قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. Whoever has done wrong, this person, we will punish him. And we will give him what is due to him, and then Allah will punish him even more in the next life. وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. But whoever believes and does good, فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى. He shall have the ultimate reward, which means, of course, Jannah. وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. And as for us, we will be gentle and easy with him. Now this is the sign of a just and a true ruler, that you're strict with the criminals and you are gentle with the good people. The first incident demonstrates for us the nature of Dhul-Qarnayn. That Dhul-Qarnayn was a righteous king, that the power did not corrupt him, that the power did not get to his head. He had the option of enslaving, of killing, of looting, of plundering, and he had the option of being generous and good, and he chose the option of being a good king. ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. Then he followed another road. حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس. Now he found the sun rising. So this is some land in the east. He found the sun rising. ووجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. He found that this group had nothing to protect them from the sun. Some have said this means that they did not know how to build buildings. They were still living in the open, and they were just using the trees as shade. Others have said this means that they were a group that didn't wear clothes. They were a group of people that were so uncivilized they did not even wear clothes. So Allah says, thus indeed was the case. And we encompassed all that he had in knowledge. Now, the purpose of this is to really lay the foundations for the third story, the final story of Dhul-Qarnayn. ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. Then he followed all along in another way. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ بَيْنَ السَّدَّيْنِ. Until finally he found a passageway between two mountains, and he found there a group of people. They could not speak to him. لا يكادون يفقهون قَوْلًا. What this means is they were cut off from all civilization. So Allah is indicating that Dhul-Qarnayn went to a far away land, cut off from human civilization, cut off from contact with other groups of human beings. They couldn't even communicate. So they communicated through other than speech. So they said to Dhul-Qarnayn that Ya'juj and Ma'juj are causing a lot of evil on this earth. So this means that this tribe and Ya'juj and Ma'juj were interacting with one another. So Ya'juj and Ma'juj are causing evil. They are plundering, they are killing us, they're raping, they're causing our damage, they're causing much evil in the land. So if we pay you, you are such a mighty king, you have this vast army, you clearly are from a superior civilization, you seem to be a good man because you're so nice to us. Take this money and protect us from Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Can you build a wall between us and them? They come through this valley, build a wall. So Dhul-Qarnayn says, قَالَ مَا مَكَّنِّي فِيهِ رَبِّي خَيْرٌ. Whatever Allah has given me is better than your money. I don't need your money. I don't need your money. I will do it fi sabilillahi ta'ala. I will do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what I need from you, فَأَعِنُونِي بِقُوَّةٍ. You help me with your manpower. You help me with your physical strength. فَأَعِنُونِي بِقُوَّةٍ أَجْعَلْ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُمْ رَدَمًا. Dhul-Qarnayn said, I will build something even better. I will build a radam. And a radam, there is no English equivalent, but it's like a fortified dam. It's like a barrier that has been fortified. So Dhul-Qarnayn says, آتوني زبر الحديد. Bring me pieces of iron or sheets of iron. حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين. When he had laid it between the two mountains. So he's building a type of barrier with iron, which is right now cold. قال انفخوا. He said, blow. And the blowing here is with the bellows, with the fire. So once he's put the iron there, a massive fire is being built. A fire that is so hot that all of this iron will become molten ore and stick together. So this is the help that he needs from these people. Allah knows how they built such a large fire. Allah knows what they did. But Dhul-Qarnayn had the technology to do that. Until the iron had become so hot it becomes ore. قَالَ آتُونِي أُفْرِغْ عَلَيْهِ قِطْرًا. He said, now bring me qitr, and qitr is molten copper. So the radam that he built, it is composed of iron and copper, and it was so massive that it is between two mountains. So apparently the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj were trapped inside an area where they had no escape out of. And Allah says in the Qur'an, فَمَسْطَاعُوا أَن يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقُبًا. They could neither climb over it nor could they dig underneath it. This is really what it translates into.
So the whole idea here, Allah is telling us that He built a wall or a barrier or a dam, something that was so strong, so impermeable, that nothing can reach and nothing can come, nothing can break it down anymore. No climate, no people, no weaponry, nothing. And when Dhul-Qarnayn looked at the people, they looked at this wall and they said, wow, this is a very strong wall. And Dhul-Qarnayn wanted to teach them a lesson. Finally, he said, قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. He said, this is from the mercy of my Lord. What's the mercy here? That He allowed us to prevent you from the corruption of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Then he said, when the promise of my Lord has arrived, Allah has decreed something that's going to happen. Allah will make this wall destroyed. He will destroy it. Dakka, meaning it will be level with the ground. وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. The promise of my Lord is truly going to come, no doubt. What is he saying here? He's saying that Ya'juj and Ma'juj will be blocked off the world, from the world, until a certain time that is going to come. Allah, it is only Allah who will destroy, who will allow for this wall to be destroyed. And when it is destroyed, this Ya'juj and Ma'juj